Good morning, beautiful people. How are you? I'm doing great today. Had to take a couple days off. I went to my husband and I. We both desperately needed some new shoes, so went to Shoe Carnival. Of course, he found his pair, but because I have such small feet, I only wear, well, I'm size 5, but I wear a 5.5 to give myself that little wiggle room. Well, I'm looking and looking and looking and looking up in the women's section. I couldn't find a size 5.5 nowhere up in the women's section. Come on now, it's a major chain shoe store. My husband's cat is starting again, so I'm about ready to shoo him up out of here. Go. Go. And you're knocking things down. Go. Well, and the toilet seat's all wiggly. Well, I couldn't find it nowhere. So I asked one of the clerks, where's the size 5.5? She goes, children's section. No. I'm a woman. I'm not wearing a size 5.5 in children's. I'm not going to do it. So, after my husband found a pair for himself, we quickly paid for those items, and then we went over to Burlington. I'm looking up in the women's section, and sure enough, I found myself a pair of 5.5 in women's. Now, come on. A major shoe store does not have a size 5.5 in women's, telling me to go to the kids section? No, thank you. You ain't got my business no more. Shouldn't be having to go to the darn children's section to find a pair of shoes. I'm a woman. So what if I'm small? So what if I got tiny feet? Who cares? I want a size 5.5 up in the women's section, not kids. Now, when my grandma, my mom's mom, was alive, bless her heart, size 2.5 is what she wore. She could barely find a size 2.5. She usually found 3 and above that she liked, but she would keep the paper at the shoe, at the tip of the shoe. She would keep it in there so that way her feet weren't moving around up in the shoe. When I say she was tiny, people, she was itty-bitty, smaller than me. Now, my daughter, my oldest one, bless her heart, same height as me. And you know what? Size 9. 9 in a shoe. And I'm like, good Lord. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. I had ordered some more products, again, from Jeffree Star. Now, I had ordered the Velour Lip Scrub, and get down. Get down. I had ordered the cherry soda. Not a problem. Scrub my lips with it. Then I had used the lip balm. This stuff is great. I just put it on the first time, so it's good. It's good. I'm keeping my lips moisturized. Please, I live in Texas. I need moisture. Because here, the weather would just zap it right up out of your skin. Absolutely will. Now, I had ordered a few other things, but let me show you. First, what I use. I use the Lancome eyeliner. This stuff is good, and it dries in a matter of seconds. You're going to lay down a line, you're good to go. I used the primer curler for your lashes. Works good. Then I used the Lancome Lash Idol. This stuff is good. It helps separate the lashes, lengthens the lashes. It's good. So, anybody wanting to use Lancome, pick up the Idol one. It's good. It's good. It's good. Now, I use the Lancome. Well, this is like a little mini blush eye and blush palette. It's called the Precious Link Collection. I like these two. I'm already starting to hit pan up on that one. But I like this one and this one. Just dip in there softly. Put it up on your cheeks. It's good when you combine the both colors. For me, because I do have a lot of pink and olive undertones up in my skin. Why I'm not olive complected like my grandma was or my mom. My mom was so olive complected, she looked like a giant olive. Now, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the palette of this, even though there's only one color in here that I like. So I was like, okay. But I used this color right here and used it like a blush topper. It works great. I mean, it's almost the same color as the blush when I apply them. Combine those two colors together and just put it on there. This color, I think, would be a little too dark for me. This one, my husband loved this color. He loves this one. This one, I'm not even going to use. No. And look like I'm part of the Walking Dead cast. No, thank you. So, I use that color as a blush topper. Now, get down. Tarte, I don't know what your problem is, but I still used the Cold Hard Cash. Got to. It's darn good highlighter. Darn good heart. English Kirsten. Highlighter, I should say. Now, I had ordered 2 more eyeshadow palettes. I wanted to try them. Like I said, Jeffree Star's products have been out for years. I just never hopped up on the train. I was using CoverGirl and Profusion and Morphe, which I won't ever use again, but that's beside the point. I ain't talking about that here. But I went ahead and ordered this one here. Came to me beautifully packaged. And I used, now look at these colors, people. Look at these colors. These colors are gorgeous. And I used the Wet Diamonds for my brow bone. Had to. It's a darn good palette. So, but this is the first time I used it. I used it up on my brow bone. Now, let's talk about the Blood Sugar palette. I got part of the collection. I didn't get the lipstick one because that one was already sold out. But let me explain. I have put on the glucose one first, laid it down all over my lids. Then I put on Wet Jewel up on my brow bone. Then I had used Sugar Cane and Cake Mix. Sugar Cane and Cake Mix. These two right here for my crease. Now, for my lid itself, blending up into my crease, I had used Cherry Soda. That's a darn good color. I mean, it's got the reddish tone, but it's got brown undertones, so I like it. And then, out of his little mini palette, check this out, people. Check it out. Cherry Soda, right there in the middle. Used as a topper over the matte Cherry Soda. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think it looks darn good. And for my bottom lashes, to lay up under my bottom lashes, I had used Coma. That's a pretty color. It's a deep, dark purple. I like it. What can I say? It's a pretty color. So I have laid that one up under my lashes there. Now for the inner corners, I used Dunner. I think it's a pretty color. Now, I gotta say, with this being a white palette, it's gonna get filthy real fast. But it means that I like the palette and it's being very well loved and used. So, but I think it's a darn good palette. I like it. Anybody else doesn't? Don't buy it then. But, you know, I have been extremely happy. Would you get down, please, Tarte? I have been extremely happy. I got a Beauty Killer palette. That's a darn good palette. Darn good. Love it. Now, the Black Rainbow, it gets very patchy up on me. I think, please, Tarte, nobody wants to see your tail up in the video. It gets very patchy up on me. That one I'll have to just leave alone. But this color, Executioner, within the, let me move that, within here, darn good. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's purple black. It's more purple, very purple undertones, but it is a black. And I think I will use it. And I'm praying it's not going to be patchy up on me. But, Tarte, you're going to knock something over and then I'm going to get mad at you. He's being the typical Bengal for days and days. And we take him outside to walk him around because he has a little harness up on him. Put his leash on him. Just let him walk around out there. He's happy. But he's going through his typical Bengal stage right now. But I love the palette. I love this. Oh, it just feels so nice. It just feels so nice. And I'm loving the highlighter over my blush. It just kind of gives it kind of that blush topper a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to complain about the color at all. And I bought it just for that color right there. That color right there. Like I said, I think that one would be too dark for me. This one, I might use it on my eyes eventually. But this one, because I'm very pink and olive undertones, I don't need that because it'll make me look like part of the Walking Dead cast. Now, I did buy one other palette from him. I have been using it. I'm extremely happy with that palette. No, I'm not going to say which palette it is. I think it'd be a little insensitive at this time. But people, go try his palettes. I think they're well worth the money that you spend up on them. And his velour lipsticks and velvet trap lipsticks, I haven't bought those yet. I told my husband that will be next, along with one more palette I want to buy from him, the Jawbreaker one. Yeah. And there's another set of highlighters that I want to get from him. It's Freeze? I don't know, something like that. But I want to get those next. and just try them out. And I'm extremely happy with the products. I will be ordering again in the future, so anybody and everybody out there, hit that like button, subscribe to my page, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. You'll come back now, you hear?